Good afternoon. On behalf of the Blue Springs Police Department, I would like to thank you all for being here today on this cold case review. I'm Lieutenant John M. Kingsolver, Jr. I supervise investigations. I want to thank Mrs. Alonzo and her family for being here. I know it's difficult. And the media. Periodically, we review cold cases and try to bring closure for the family. This case has gone cold for 17 years. And what we're trying to do here today is to maybe come up with something to help us close this case. We need the public's help. This is a hit and run that occurred in 2000 at 15th and Hearns, where Mr. Alonzo was taking his morning walk. Sergeant Mike Russell is a supervisor of the SVU unit, that's a special victims unit, and he'll be doing the briefing on this case. I have some ground rules after he does the conclusion. If you have questions and answers, state your name and organization when you ask them. Speak clearly when asking your questions. And at the conclusion, please do not ask the family any questions or the police department out of respect. If you want any questions answered, go to our Facebook. This entire briefing will be there and you can ask questions and we will answer them. Sergeant Mike Russell, thank you all very much.
Thank you. So, cold case work is never easy, but it's imperative that we continue to pursue in these cases, because you have to understand that how important it is to the family to know that we just don't give up. And so I can tell you that I spent some time with Lana and other members of the Alonzo family, and I can tell you that I admire their strength and resilience. It really is remarkable and inspiring to me. On Monday, September 25th, 2000, Jim Alonzo woke up like every day, and around 5 to 5:30 a.m., he went for his morning walk. They called it a religious walk every day for about 3 miles. And he did that rain or shine. He'd follow the same route with little deviations. And at anywhere between 6:15 to 6:25 that morning, Jim was struck and killed by a hit-and-run driver at the intersection of 15th and Hearns. We believe that Jim was struck while he was on Hearns, just east of 15th Street. The challenges that we had that day was that it was cloudy, it was rainy, it was early, and a lot of that doesn't lend itself to scene preservation and collection of evidence. I can tell you that the incident happened in a neighborhood where the traffic hadn't gotten too busy at that point. And so that hurt our chances for finding someone who witnessed the incident. Several vehicles of interest were identified at the time, but through investigation they were eliminated as suspect vehicles. And it's possible that the incident that involved Jim's death was just an accident. But we won't know that until we talk to the driver of the car who hit him. The members of the Blue Springs Police Department are asking for the public's help with information that they can give us regarding this case. We know that there are good people out there who want to do the right thing. If that means you were told information all those years ago or any time since then regarding this case and you want to come forward, this would be a really good time. If you are the person or persons responsible for the accident that killed Jim and it's been weighing heavy on your mind, this would be a good time for you to come forward and have a talk with us. Crime Stoppers is offering a reward of up to $2,000 for information leading to the closure of this case. Every year we have to review the cold cases, and I can tell you that I've looked at this case many times. And I would like to share with you some things that you can't find in the case file. I can tell you that Jim was a man of faith. He enjoyed helping people at the church. If someone couldn't fix something and he could, he'd fix it for them. He loved his wife. He loved his family. He enjoyed walking his grandkids to school, which was just down the street. Jim was a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. Jim had just retired from the Santa Fe Railroad. He put in 43 years of hard work. The Alonzo family still has questions, and they're still without closure. Our hope is that Jim's wife, Lana, and the Alonzo family can, for the first time in 17 years, have a holiday season where they have just a little bit of closure. That's all I have for right now. I can answer questions if anybody has any. And if not, then we can close it out. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, sir.
Hey, Sergeant Michael Weinbaum from KMBZ Radio. Can you kind of tell us about the difficulty about investigating a court case from 17 years ago and what that influences for evidence?
Okay. It's unique. It's frustrating in some aspects because it's work that was done by people that are no longer here. The technology back then, developing rolls of film, I mean, you can enhance quality. You wish you had shots that you're just not going to get. I mean, the time has passed. It's refreshing to see, you know, the level of work that was done back then, the old school style. There were a couple detectives on that case. One of them was Ray Vasquez, who a lot of people knew as Taco, and he was a different kind of cat, and he was a really good investigator for us, and it was a pleasure to kind of go over his work because I really liked the way he did his job. The technology that's come about since then, although it's here now, they didn't know back then, so they didn't know that we were going to have this technology to collect this or collect that. You know, forensic photography was something for big cities like Kansas City's crime scene unit and stuff like that. So I mean, there's different aspects of the way we do things. We evolve, and so it's tough. It's tough because you want more, because we need more. And so right now it's more that you know, I've got a few things out and trying to utilize some of the new technology, and so we're waiting for some of that to come back. The advancements in accident reconstruction and some of the stuff that they're learning, it can help us tell the story. Because like I said, we don't have that other half, and so the more we learn, the better. So, and there's some forensic injury analysis that we're looking into on what caused one of his particular injuries. So, it's that. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
ABC TV. Why now? Why 17 years later?
All right, so one of the things that we do as a police department is we're a CALEA accredited police department, and through that accreditation process, there are some guidelines that we follow on revisiting cold case files, and so every year we revisit the cold cases, and I've reviewed this case several times, and it was getting frustrating for me because there was nothing new. And so this year, when it was time for me to pull that file out, I really wanted to come at it from the aspect of what can we utilize now that wasn't back then. The social media platform is huge right now. We've had some cool crimes that were solved just because of social media just recently, and so we wanted to try and do that, and then look into any of the new technology that might lead us down that path. I just didn't want to do the review and then not try and get some more stuff. So trying to push real hard so we can get some closure to this.
Is the only way you're gonna solve this, having somebody come forward?
That would be a huge help, because out of all the vehicles that we identified as vehicles of interest through laboratory technology that isn't different, it isn't much different now than it was then. We're able to identify the particulates or the glass fragments or the paint chips and disqualify those vehicles as being an involved vehicle. So that's a lot of it. And here's the deal. The human aspect of you doing something is that you got to share it with someone or it never happened. And so we're hoping that he or she told somebody something, and those people come forward, can lead us to him, so we can get that other half of the story, so we can have some type of explanation, so that we can pursue what needs to be pursued, but more importantly, we can get some closure to this family. Because I can tell you that there's not a day that goes by, Lana's told me there's not a day that goes by that she doesn't think about Jim. Jim's routine, his involvement in their lives, and that being absent for 17 years day in and day out. So that's what we want. Anything else? I would like to thank the Alonzo family for strong support today. Appreciate that. The next steps is we're hoping that we get some more information. We're going to explore some different options, think outside the box, try and drum up some new ideas. I want to thank the media for coming out. I can tell you that you are part of the team. I mean, we need you guys just like you need us out there, so appreciate what you guys do. Thank you for being here, because we're hoping that this helps. Thank you. And again, no follow-up interviews with the family. You can contact me or Jennifer Dockenhausen, and we can set something up later, phone interviews, or you can come back out and talk to me. But the family has asked that there be no follow-up interviews with them. It's still pretty sore. Thanks.
Just as a reminder, the press conference in its entirety will be out on our Facebook page for anybody to review, watch, anticipate questions that you may not have thought of now but may want to put out later, or comments. Thank you again all for attending.